And big development in the 2019 Hyderabad fake encounter case. Remember, this is in connection with the Disha case. The Supreme Court appointed committee has recommended that the 10 police officers will be booked for quote-unquote murder, and that the police version is unbelievable. That's the big breaking update at 2:17 p.m. The top court has given its verdict in the 2019 Hyderabad fake encounter case. What the panel has gone on to say, in fact, I'm going to put it out here, that the police version is unbelievable and not backed by any proof or solid evidence. The court also goes on to, in fact, mention that it cannot be believed that the accused snatched the pistols. The deceased died due to the injuries by the police firing. It also goes on to add that unbelievable that the suspects are the ones who fired at the police and that the accused were deliberately fired upon with an intent to kill. And that's the latest on the 2019 Hyderabad encounter case, and I'm being joined by my colleague Meenakshi Bhanja on the phone line. Meenakshi, a very, very big breaking update coming from the Supreme Court. Scathing observations made there that the police version cannot be believed at all. There is absolutely no concrete evidence to back it. And the spotlight is once again back on this whole debate of how justified on-spot encounters are.
Well, yes, and this is a very high-profile panel which was appointed by the Supreme Court, and this is a panel which was led by a former Supreme Court judge, which is going ahead and making these remarks and observations, and it has arrived at a conclusion, right, like you rightly mentioned, where the Supreme Court appointed panel has informed the Supreme Court that the 2019 Disha encounter case at Hyderabad was a fake encounter carried out by the cops. And this panel, led by the former Supreme Court judge, is also adding that 3 of the 4 killed in the fake encounter were minors. So that's another a big aspect emerging from this particular panel's findings. And the panel is also recommending that these cops be tried under the murder charge. So that's another big aspect emerging from this panel's findings. Our viewers will recall that on an earlier occasion, the police version had made claims that 4 accused snatched pistols and ran. That version, this particular Supreme Court appointed panel of inquiry commission is junking as false and untrue. So, like you rightly mentioned, this clearly brings the spotlight back, in particular, about the complicity and role of the Hyderabad police. And also remember, in India, there are guidelines pertaining to police behavior and police conduct. Clearly, this is a very high-profile panel which is appointed by the Supreme Court, and therefore, this is a panel which has been headed by a former Supreme Court judge. So the panel findings will really have a lot of significance in the eyes of the top court. And this high-profile panel is coming to these conclusions, which is really, really grave and brings the spotlight back on Hyderabad police's complicity and a lack of ethical conduct in this particular case. And it really opens a floodgate of questions, which Hyderabad police will be very, very uncomfortable handling.
Well, clearly, like you put it out, that this in fact raises pertinent questions over the law and order situation in the state, and very, very key questions over the police officials and the state government. And Meenakshi, I urge you to stay with us. I'm also being joined by prominent activist Brinda Adige on the phone line. Brinda, very good afternoon to you, and thank you for speaking to Mirror Now. A very key development coming in this high-profile Hyderabad encounter case. We remember in the year 2019, in fact, when this case was reported, there was a lot of discussion and debate over, whether these extrajudicial killings are actually justified. What are your 2 cents on this?
I am in complete agreement with the last sentence that you said. These extrajudicial killings are not justified, no matter what reasoning, what excuses, what justifications the police might give. This is absolutely unacceptable. India, we have a rule of law. And that rule of law must be followed to the T. What the police in Hyderabad said after they did this was not at all believable by even common people. How can a group or a committee accept what it goes to show is, of course, on the other side, that the justice systems are not very strong, or probably they are very tedious and cumbersome, and there might not be justice that might reach the victim. All that apart, the police only have a role to enforce law and put their investigations as per their IO investigations that they have done, put their charge sheet. Now, killing somebody and giving an excuse the person was trying to run away, we don't have to be Sherlock Holmes to find out where were they running away in this part of the town. They were supposed to be in jail, from there taken to court. How did they manage to come to this part of the town? This is a very simple question that they are not able to answer. So glad that the court committee has pulled up all those officials. The court committee must also pull up the senior officer who gave the direction to these people to literally execute the alleged accused.
All right. Also, very scathing observations, like you also mentioned, by the top court. Do you think that this will also go on to, in fact, set a key example for other state governments to follow suit?
You're absolutely right. This is a precedent that has been set for other state governments to look at how their police function, especially with alleged accused of this nature. And those state governments and the police of those states must buck up and understand that they cannot go scot-free now. They will be pulled up and action will be taken by the law of this land.
Absolutely, Brinda Dige. Thank you for your time to Mirror Now, and thank you for all those valuable inputs.